Hey guys, I'm RNG Gamer. I play all my games randomly. Several of you requested it. Today we're going to go over my Turbo Grafx 16 PC Engine Turbo Duo collection. We're going to lump them all in together for one video. It's not going to be super long. I've got a busy day. I'm sure you do too, so let's knock this out really quickly. Also, as always, if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification. It really helps me out. It's the best way to help the channel. And I do love reading those comments. So let's get to it. And here you can see my complete in box Turbo Grafx 16 and my PC Engine Turbo Duo R. Really happy to have these. I found these back when they were not much. I think I paid like 60 bucks for the Turbo Grafx 16, and the Turbo Duo I picked up from a friend in a trade. But there you go. Keep them in the box if you got them, right? First up, we have a shoot 'em up, is the case with many of my collections. It's on the Turbo Grafx 16. It's supposed to be a lot of fun, although I have not played it. I've played a lot of these games, but it's been a while, so my memory might be a little rusty. This one's supposed to be really good. It's Aero Blasters. Classic on the system. If you're a Shmups fan, this is one of the ones you have to have. It's not super pricey either. This is a well-known game on the system. It's sought after, also not very expensive by Turbo Grafx 16 standards. Really fun pinball game. Not as good, I would say, as the sequel to it that's coming up later, but a lot of fun, a lot of character, and a lot of people really like this one. And it's Alien Crush. I've actually only played this one a few minutes. This is in the backlog to get to. I'll get to it, I promise. This one I picked up at a thrift store. It's missing the manual, but it's got the box and the cart. It's a fighting game. I think it's a wrestling game. I've never played it before. It still has the price tag on it, and apparently it was 99 cents. But it's Battle Royale. And in case you've never seen a Turbo Grafx 16 game before, they come on these little things called cue cards, which are really interesting. But, I mean, we got a spine, and we got the game. 99 cents. Can you believe that? Look at that price. It's in 2021 as well, during COVID. This is probably like my favorite shoot 'em up on the system. I love this. I think this is a 9 out of 10 shoot 'em up, and that's not just on the system, but against like the pantheon of all great shmups. Love this game. It's a classic. Kanye is a big fan of this, so, I mean, is he ever wrong? It's blazing lasers. Here's another one I picked up. I'm missing the front cover to it, the manual. It's hard to find this stuff, guys. This console is really obscure. It's always been obscure. Anyway, this is one you have to have on the system. My cue card's upside down, so I'll just flip it over. But it's Bonk's Adventure. Classic mascot for the system. You play as like a side-scrolling infant caveman, and colorful levels, a lot of fun gameplay. You eat meat and you get like hyped up and you bash stuff with your head. It's a really fun game and one of the classics on the system for a reason. I recently watched a John Hancock video where he played this game, and he was covering all the 1-star games on the Turbo Grafx 16, and this game was included. I don't think it's very good, but I don't think it's like a 1-star game. That's pretty crazy. This game reminds me of kind of like Bomberman, and it's called Crater Maze. And here you get to see like your first glimpse at like what most Turbo Grafx 16 cover art looks like. It's so bad, and probably one of the reasons the system kind of like failed. It had this weird look to it. But you're in these mazes like Bomberman, and you dig these holes in the ground that the enemies like fall into, and then you bury them. And it's kind of that like arcadey game. I don't know that it ends, but I played it for several hours. I need to play this one again and refresh my memory of it. I can't remember how bad it was, but it definitely didn't stand out. But 1-star game? I don't know about that. I mean, the game works, so it's got to be at least like 2 stars, right? We talked about its little brother before. This is the big bad boy. This is the best pinball game I've ever played on a console that isn't like a direct simulation of a real pinball table, but this one's great. The music is banging. It's so good. Fantastic game. I actively sought this one out. It was the first game that I bought for my Turbo Grafx 16 that like I didn't just find somewhere. Went on eBay for this one, paid retail for it at the time, which I think was about like $16. But it's Devil's Crush. Really cool, like horror-based pinball game. I believe this got like a port or like a remake on the Sega Genesis. I can't remember what it's called, but it's not as good there. It's better here. Happy console gamer, which is a huge influence of this channel. If you can't tell, YouTube Analytics says that most of the people that watch my videos also watch his channel, so you probably know who he is. Really awesome guy, Johnny Millennium. I've been watching him for years, over a decade, I think. Anyway, he hates this game. I have played it a little bit. I didn't play it enough to like really get his hate of it. I just thought it was kind of annoying, but it's Double Dungeons. It's one of these like first-person view dungeon crawling games, kind of like the Exploring in the Fantasy Star series. But I think it's like 2-player, and maybe you're racing to get out of the dungeon, or you're trying to catch the other person. I can't remember. I had to play it 1-player because like I'm a big loser and don't have any people that will play freaking video games with me. None of my friends want to play. My wife and daughter aren't going to play Double Dungeons with me. So I just have to imagine. I have to live my life vicariously through other YouTubers. But I don't remember this one being very good, but I wish I knew more about the hate in this one. This one's really cool, and despite what I said in my last video, or my last little clip, I did play this with some friends. We got enough together to play it 3-player, and this is a spinoff of like the arcade series Gauntlet, and I think this is better than Gauntlet, although this is kind of harder. Gauntlet's hard. This is like hard. It has some like RPG, leveling up, exploration sort of mechanics in it. But it has a lot more characters to play as. Anyway, we weren't able to get super far into it, and every time I've played it solo, I get stuck kind of at the same spot with these like flamethrowers coming out of the wall. And anyway, that's enough yapping about that. It's Dungeon Explorer. Fun game. This is like a must-have game on the Turbo Grafx 16. I like this one a lot. Get some friends to play with, although I don't think it makes it much easier with multiple people. It's still pretty brutal no matter what. This is a classic, like, I don't even know what you call this game, like looping, side-scrolling, shoot 'em up. It's done by Sega, I believe. And I've played this game before. I played it a lot, but I've never played it on the Turbo Grafx 16. I picked this up from a buddy. Can't wait to jump into it. It's Fantasy Zone. You see old Opa. Where is he? There he is right there. Cute little spaceship mascot, and very colorful, whimsical, a lot of fun. Just the original cute 'em up, if you've never heard that term before, but looking forward to playing this one on the Turbo Grafx. I picked this up at the last, like, I think Southeast Game Exchange, and like I said, it's another one of these that's missing the manual, but they just had it for a couple of bucks, and I picked it up. It's a racing game. I don't know anything about it. I've never played a racing game on the Turbo Grafx 16, but this one's Final Lap Twin. And it's in the case with the spine. I gotta have like, I don't like loose games. Like I don't want just cue cards, but this is, I mean, not preferable, but at least it has the spine so I can put it on a shelf and like locate it. Stuff like this, when you have kids, like comes up missing and lost, and I don't like that. Also picked this up at the Southeast Game Exchange a few years ago. This is a classic game. I know it's not supposed to be very good, but you play as like 2 kind of jerk detectives or something like that. It's a side scroller. It has really big comical sprites. It's all about the humor. It's JJ and Jeff. I've never played this. I've seen a lot of footage of it. So I kind of know what I'm getting into with this one, but I want to try this one out. It's in the backlog. All right, story time. Double story time. When I was a little kid, my parents and I were at a department store. I believe it was a Macy's. Around Christmas, and they were doing Christmas shopping, and they like parked me and left me on the first floor to just kind of like hang out and waste time while they went and bought presents for me. And I remember they had a video game console like hooked up and on display, kind of as like a promotional thing to try to sell it. And I saw this game, and it looked like so colorful and different than anything I'd seen before. It had these enemies that were like, their heads were like revolvers, like a pistol revolver. And I remember like I waited around for like hours while they were Christmas shopping, like waiting for my turn to play this game, and I never got to play it. And as I got older and started collecting, I thought I like dreamed this situation, that like this never happened, because I mean, I collect, I know what's up, and like I'd never seen that game before. Years down the road, I picked up my Turbo Grafx 16. You can learn more about that in my top 10 craziest holy grail game finds stories. But anyway, this game was with it. It was the pack-in game, and I did experience this. I didn't dream it. It's real. It's a fun side scroller, really cool enemies, classic. It's Keith Courage and Alpha Zones, the pack-in game on the system. But so glad I found this, and that like, it was a really like fond memory. I'm glad that like it was real and I didn't imagine it, but everyone who's played the Turbo Grafx 16 has played this. And my front cover is like water damaged and sun faded, but I wouldn't have it any other way. It's just the way it is. This is another classic on the system. Never played this, never played its sequel. But it's supposed to be a lot of fun. Side-scrolling caveman, maybe prehistoric warrior game. I don't know. It's supposed to be pretty cool. Legendary axe. Really cool artwork. This one stands out over most of those other ones. And of course, you have to have its sequel, Legendary Axe 2. Pick this one up. This still got the price tag on it. I think I paid $50, but $70. That's not too unreasonable for a Turbo Grafx 16 game. Like, you old-time collectors out there will know about it. It's always been hard to collect for. It's always been expensive, and still the case today. Ah, yes, people have commented about seeing this in the background. I picked this up when I first started collecting for the Turbo Grafx 16. I picked this up at like an antique store that had 2 sealed games, and I paid $15 for this, but it's Ninja Spirit, and this is a sealed, brand new in container, like Turbo Grafx 16 game, and you can see the gameplay here. Really fun, side-scrolling, like ninja game, kind of like The Legend of Kage on the NES, sort of mixed with Ninja Gaiden, but more like Legend of Kage. Huge, like vertical levels that you jump like, 60 feet into the air kind of games. Really fun. I've actually never played it on the Turbo Grafx 16. I played it on an emulator many years before I even collected, back when emulators didn't really work. But excited to have this one. I've never cracked it open. I will never crack it open. But I do own the game open. And Turbo Grafx 16 is hard. Like, a lot of people consider this complete in box, like with the jewel case, the manual, and the hue card. But this isn't. This is like a grade between loose and complete in box. Like, this is complete in box with the outside cardboard box. And early CDs, guys, like in the late 80s, came like this. Like, the jewel case came in a large cardboard box that you would open up and take the jewel case out. And so I think NEC was trying to pull that off with the Turbo Grafx 16, something similar to that. And for that that's the reason, like, these cases don't have any stuff on the outside of them, right? They're not trying to sell this. They're trying to sell those big boxes. But great game. Happy to have it. I paid like $15 for the sealed copy, and the open copy years later, a couple years ago, I think I paid like $100 for this. Just to let you know how prices have increased over time. I did play this. It's another one of these, I believe, first-person exploratory dungeon games, but it's sci-fi based, and it had like a lot of puzzles. I got stuck, and like I only spent like a little bit of time playing this. Maybe I need to go back and play it. Let me know. I wasn't really digging it very much, but it's Silent Debuggers. Cooler cover than some of the others. I like this one. Here's like the game everybody wants on the system. I picked this up. I've played part 2 of this on the Genesis. I have played part 1, but it's been a while. But this is in my backlog. Of course, I'll get to it. Splatterhouse. You play as like a Jason Voorhees kind of character trying to save his girlfriend from this haunted mansion, and you just like hack and slash and smash monsters and ghouls and ghosts and things around. It's very violent and very cool. I'm sure this is like shocking when it came out at the arcade, but this is a pretty good port of it. And I think Splatterhouse, back in the day, it was like a console exclusive. It never came out on the Genesis or the Super Nintendo or anything. So if you have the Splatterhouse remake on the Xbox 360 or the PS3, like, this is included along with Splatterhouse 2 and 3. So you can play it there, but honestly, I don't know how those versions play. I'm going to play it on my Turbo Grafx 16 though. I don't remember this being very good. It's kind of awkward, but it is better than the NES version of it. And it's a Disney cartoon. I'm surprised to see it on here. It's Tailspin. You play as, what was his name? Babu? I can't remember what his name was. Who was the older bear in Tailspin? Man, that was like my favorite of those Disney afternoon cartoons was Tailspin. I liked it better than like Chip and Dale and Darkwing Duck. I thought this was like the best one. I don't know. I'll take that back. I liked Gargoyles a lot. It was like gothic and sinister. This is weird. It's a side scroller platformer, and he like throws rocks, but they like arc. And you've all been down if you've ever played 8-bit games. Like they like arc over the enemies every time. It's really irritating, but it's not unplayable. I don't even know what this is. I have played it. It's not in the backlog. So, but I have no memory of it. Remind me of this, what it is. This is like the worst album, or not album, the worst game cover art I've like ever seen. Like, look at this, Tricky Kick. What am I looking at? There's like a samurai up there, and then like, I don't know, some like Power Ranger at the bottom, and then people at different angles. What, Tricky Kick? Is this a soccer game? What is this? Tell me about this. Do I need to refresh myself on this? Is it worth it? I just picked up the complete collection of this on the Switch. This is like one of these Euro exploratory side-scrolling collectathon games. I'm not a huge fan of this series, but that's based off this game. People consider it to be a good game. It's just not for me, but it's Turrican. I don't know where I picked this up. It came from somewhere. It came from somewhere. There you go, guys. There's some good insight for you. This, believe it or not, it came from somewhere. So this is one, it's, man, it's got like such terrible artwork on it. It's Vig's Tactical Gladiator. It's like a mech game. I can't remember who developed this, but it's like a music company. Like, it's like Manhattan Music Industries like made this game. I don't know, they're trying to branch out in the 80s, I guess. You play as this mech here, and you like select your loadouts for your arms and different weapons, and maybe you have ammo or they cool down or something, but it's a side scroll, and I feel like you're just being like barraged from all sides by enemies. And you can shoot and fight left or right, but it's not done with the directional button. Like you press a button to turn around, and it's hard to get used to doing that. I think that's very strange. I'm not sure why they decided to do that. But I did not think this was very good. I did not like it, although later I've heard people have developed a little bit of fondness for this game. Here's one that I have the manual in the cart for, but I'm missing the spine. It's so irritating. This is from the same series of like the Kunio-kun, I think, like that did River City Ransom and Super Dodgeball on the NES and stuff, but it's Vigilante. I did play this in the arcade, and I think I've played it here. I remember the game, but I'm not sure if this is one I've played before, but man, missing the spine label is really annoying. But yeah, pretty fun game, kind of a beat 'em up. And then we've got another sealed game here. I have not played this. That's okay, it's not in the backlog. I don't really care about playing it. But it's an anti-drug campaign game called Yo Bro. Yo Bro, it's got the sticker on it still. It says free poster inside. You turn it around on the back, you can see what the gameplay looks like. One of these late 80s, early 90s, like tie-in kind of campaign games. I don't think this is supposed to be very good. How could it be, right? But happy to have this one. Also paid $15 for this. Picked it up the same day I picked up Ninja Spirit. All right, let's talk about the PC Engine and the Turbo CD stuff. Some cool stuff here. I want to show it to you. All right, there's a company out there called PCE Works, and they make high-quality reproduction Turbo Duo and like PC Engine games. Okay. Feel however you want to feel about that. I will say this. I've bought a lot of PC Engine games that like just don't work. Like they're busted, whatever, they're broken. I have to send them back. One game I bought 4 times and I've never gotten a copy that worked. So when this company is doing a sale last Christmas, I bought some stuff from them just to try it out. I have not tried it out yet, but I'm looking forward to it. The first one is this PC Engine Memories Shooting Legends. And this has a Nexer and Nexer Special, which is a supposed to be a really, really good shoot 'em up. Sarai Senshi Spriggan, which is a super heavy hitter on the PC Engine, like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Spriggan 2 and Steam Hearts, which is like a hentai shoot 'em up game. Not sure where that one's included, but I basically bought this for Nexer and Spriggan. But you can see on the back kind of what some of the art looks like for them. Shoot 'em ups, of course. That's what the PC Engine's known for. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about these. I would not consider these like reproductions, even though they're like, I guess they're unlicensed. I'm not sure, but there's a lot of stuff's like abandoned software. So I just bought these to play them. And I don't ever do like, I don't really like to do emulation. I don't really like multi-carts, and I don't really like using flash carts. I couldn't remember the word flash cart. I don't like flash carts. I like to have stuff on the shelf. Helps me keep things organized. I get overwhelmed when I just see a list of ROMs and like I don't play anything. I know. It's a lot of money to spend for like such a minor thing, but oh well, whatever. If I like these enough, you know, after I play them, I will seek out the real thing. So, and included with that was Monster Boy 3, Monster Lair. Never played this, but that was a throw-in from them. I guess it's a Christmas present. Thanks, guys. And it's, you know, a Wonder Boy game. Continuing on with that, we have Bonk 3, Bonk's Big Adventure CD. Same thing. And like, man, these reproductions, they look really good. They're obviously marked as a reproduction, but like the quality of this is like nicer than the real thing. I bought the real things and these are higher quality and maybe they'll work, unlike the ones I usually buy that are like bit rotted, disc rot, or like cracked or whatever. Looking forward to these. Sorry, I had to look up the name of this. It's called Barai 2. Cool samurai mask artwork. This looks to be like an old school JRPG. See like the, let's see if it'll zoom in. There we go. Is that zoomed in? I hope so. So small on my little like view screen I can't see. But it's in the backlog. I don't know that I can play this. I'd speak very, 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 very little Japanese. Despite taking 2 years of it in high school, I learned like nothing. But anyway, let me know if this is any good. Is there a translation of it or something I can try? Here's another one from the PCE Works people. This is Download 2. This can be kind of a hard one to find. It's another shoot 'em up. It's a side scroller. Got some really interesting artwork, but I'm looking for Download 1. My goal is to find that like at the next big convention I go to on the PC Engine, so I can have both of them. This is from the Soldier series, one of the cool like premier shoot 'em up series on the console. This is Final Soldier. I think I had this in one of my recent pickups videos, and by recent I mean like 6 months ago. Back when I just started the channel. Anyway, it's supposed to be really cool. I've never really played like any of the Soldier games, which is shocking. I know this one isn't considered to be like the best one, like maybe like in the top 3 or something like that, but I'm looking forward to this one. I have like a love for Galaga. I think it's like my favorite arcade game. Anyway, they did an update for it. Came out on the Turbo Grafx 16 in the United States as Galaga 1990, but it came out 2 years earlier in Japan, where it's known as Galaga 88. And I picked this up off of eBay. I think I paid like $20 or $30 for it or something. It's hard because like shipping from Japan is like 20 bucks usually. So I had to find somebody like in the US that had this. But this is like really clean. They sent it in like a protective container, and I usually don't get those for like jewel case stuff. So kudos to whoever did this, saving this $30 game. This is the pack-in game that came with the Turbo Duo in the United States. I don't own a Turbo Duo. I don't know where I got this. I traded, I guess, a friend for this. But this is like the best pack-in of all time. Like I will die on that hill. I know like Super Mario Brothers is great and Super Mario World is fantastic, but this is killer. This is Gates of Thunder, a banger shoot 'em up. Bonk's Adventure, which Bonk's 1, which I have on the Turbo Grafx 16, and Bonk's Revenge, which is the only place I have it. And there's a secret 4th game, Bomberman, is unlockable on this. And so this was just loose when I got it. I'm not sure how it came with the PC Engine or the Turbo Duo. I think maybe it came in a slipcase, but I printed out like a back cover just so I could remember what's on it. And you can see there, Gates of Thunder, Bonk's Revenge, Bonk, and Bomberman. And so I could see what it was on the shelf. So this is like a reproduction. I mean, reproduction. I printed it out on my like desktop printer. So anyway, there you go. Oh, this is the one that started it. I've never played this. I have it on the compilation. I have it here. We'll try them out on both, but it's the first Street Fighter called Fighting Street. And it doesn't have artwork of the game on the back, but it shows what the briefcase PC Engine CD-ROM 2 looks like. And I think this is one of the coolest looking consoles ever. I like how it's all modular and white and gray. It's just so like quintessential late 80s, early 90s Japan. I just love it. Like when I think of Japan, which I've been to Japan, I love Japan. When I think of the way just Japan looks, like I think of that. That's what it looks like to me. It just, such a cool design on the system. I wish they had done it like that here. This is the, I think maybe like the heaviest hitter on the PC Engine. On the Turbo Grafx 16, it's like Magical Chase. It's like a $5,000 game, whatever. It's unobtainium. But I think on the PC Engine, where Magical Chase is like $800, this one's like a $1,200, $2,000 game, and it's Sapphire. And it's like Denketsu Fukatsu's Sapphire. I'll look it up. I'll tell you what the full name is. Ginga Fukai Densetsu Sapphire. Bam, there it is. This is another one of these PCE Works Reproductions. This is like the only way I would ever get to play it. I don't think it works on most like flash carts because flash carts can get kind of tricky with the PC Engine because you need like these RAM expansion cards to make them work. And this requires the arcade card. So excited to play this one. Apparently it looks like fantastic with like cool polygon graphics and stuff. But anyway, I'm excited about this one. Really excited. Oh, I love this game. Storytime. I owned this on the PC. This is a LucasArts game, and this is a US release on the Turbo Duo. And it's Loom. You play this like really cool, kind of cute looking hooded character, and this is just a straight up like adventure game. Point and click adventure. And I had this game for years on the PC, like on CD-ROM, and I was always stuck in like the first area. I could never figure out how to like cross the ocean. There was this like tornado. Couldn't figure out how to get past it. And I worked like for an entire week raking leaves around my neighborhood and saved money. And I was one day playing this for like the 50th time trying to make progress on it. Like I said, I've been playing it for years. And I looked in the back of the manual and saw that there was a 900 number you could call to get like clues and hints on how to beat the game. So I was like, I asked my dad, I was like, can I call it and use your credit card and I pay you the money that I had like made from raking leaves? He's like, yeah, go ahead, sure. It was like $1.99 a minute. And I called, and like using a touch-tone phone, it would be like, if you're stuck in the first area, press 1, and you press 1, and it's like, if you're stuck at this part, press 1. If you're stuck at this part, press 2. If you're stuck at this part, and it would go through it, and like, you're paying $1.99 a minute. It's just racking up money. And I got past that part. I found out what to do. And then I got stuck in the next area and I called them back. And then I got stuck again and I called them back. I got stuck again and I called them back. And I beat the game that day, and I had to call that 900 number like 10 times. And I think when all was said and done, I spent like $120 on that service to get like the steps to walk through this game, because I got stuck so many times. But I beat it, paying, you know, like over $100 for it. My dad was mad. That was all the money I made. That's all the money I made, like from a whole week of doing like 8 hours a day work for Loom. Man. Ooh, anyway, I've never played it on the Turbo Duo CD. Excited to play it. I might be able to get through it now without having to use a walkthrough. We'll have to see. On the Turbo Grafx 16, this is Airzonk. It's Bonk, the caveman boy, but it's a whimsical, cute-em-up, side-scrolling shooter. And really fun. Anyway, I have it on the PC Engine here, and it's called PC Engine. There it is, right there. Really colorful and awesome. Excited to have this one. Way cheaper on the PC Engine versus the Turbo Grafx 16, like hundreds of dollars difference. Here's another PCE Works reproduction, still sealed. Psychic Storm, supposed to be a pretty good vertical scrolling shooter. Like I said, they're having a deal for Christmas, and I bought a whole bunch of these, so excited to try them out. And here's another one to go along with it, Ray Zanber 3. I played Ray Zanber 1 on the FM Towns Marty. like that's the only exclusive game on that ultra rare system. Like it's probably the rarest system I know of. My buddy owns one, but you can burn games on it. One of the reasons it probably failed, maybe not. I don't know. It came out in the late 80s. I don't think that many people had CD-ROM burners back then, but anyway, Raise Amber on this was not great. I don't think it's great here, but I needed another game. I think it was like 4 for the deal. The Christmas deal was like 4 games for $80 or $100 or something. So I had to buy them in like groups of 4. So this is one of those I threw in for that. Great game from Konami. This is on the NES is Life Force, but elsewhere in the world it's called Salamander, and there's some differences between them. I'm not going to get into all that, but this is apparently like the way to play it. I'm looking forward to this. I have 1 credit cleared Life Force on the NES, of course, but I've never played this version. But it's Salamander. Very cool looking. Excited about that. And this is a HuCard release. This is just good old PC Engine. You can tell by the side labels. They label them as what they are. Another PCE Works reproduction. This is Star Parodier. This is like, I guess Hudson Soft's take on like the Parodia series, where they take all their Star Soldier stuff and they make it all comical caricatures of things. This is supposed to be a really fun vertical cute 'em up. Looking forward to this one. This one's not very expensive on the PC Engine. Like it's $35, $40 game, and I paid like $25 for the reproduction. But like I said, it was in these little packages of 4. I had to throw stuff in to get it up to the numbers I needed. Another one from the Soldier series. This is Superstar Soldier. This one's supposed to be like maybe the best or one of the best. Excited to play this one. Like the other one, I've not played it. I'll get to it, I promise. I play a lot of shmups, and they have a special place in the backlog. So like, I worked through them really quickly since it's my favorite genre. This is Swordmaster. This is definitely an import. This is definitely like a PC Engine Super CD game. It is. This looks like an isometric RPG. Look at the back art of this. What the crap? Just 16 screen captures that all look almost exactly the same. I don't know anything about this game. I probably can't play it. I'll give it a shot. It's in the backlog somewhere. So we'll try it, and you'll see a review here maybe in 6 months, maybe in 6 years. Another heavy hitter. This is another PCE Works game. This is Sylphia. Of course, it's a shmup, as most of my games I have on this system are. Very cool. Really neat cutscenes. Never played it, but looking forward to it. And this is the game I bought like 4 times. I mentioned this in the pickups video around Christmas, but this is Winds of Thunder, which is Lords of Thunder in the United States. This is the reproduction. Bought this game 4 times, and like I had to send it back because it never worked. Like I've lost hundreds of dollars. Because like you buy on eBay and you're like, it doesn't work. And they're like, oh, you swapped it out. Of course it works. Or like I bought it at a convention and spent money on it and it didn't work. But this one I know will work. These are pressed discs. These are not burned discs. These are pressed like from the factory. So excited to have this one. This one's called Yokai Dachuki. I think I looked it up, but there was some discrepancy on what it's called. I don't know what the translation of this. Yokai I think means like spirit, right? Like Yokai Watch, it's like Spirit Watch or something. I think this was on my wish list to pick up because it was like, I saw a video of like cheap PC Engine games that are still fun that you don't need to be able to speak Japanese to play, and this is on there. And I saw it at the, I think the Southeast Game Exchange once again, and it was just like 12, 20 bucks, something, whatever. Anyway, I picked it up. Let me know if this is good. And this is in my last pickups video. It's not really like a game, but it's the arcade card for the PC Engine Duo, so you can play the arcade game Sapphire. Anyway, there it is. I had to pay like 60 bucks to import this to play that, and it's just a really fat and thick and heavy cue card. See it there. All right, guys, there you go. There's my whole collection. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. If you like the content, there's more of it every single Saturday. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me down in the comments if you have any recommendations or any games in my backlog that you really love that you want me to play sooner rather than later. If I get enough recommendations, I have some tricks to jump them ahead in the random backlog nonsense system I have. But anyway, thank you so much for all your time. I appreciate all your support, and I'll answer those comments if you send them to me. I'll catch you guys later.